What if I told you your dog has rules they expect you to follow? Would you know what they are? Most owners think they do, but dogs have silent expectations that go way beyond food, water, and walks. These are unspoken rules your dog tests you on every single day. And if you keep breaking them, which most people do without realizing it, your dog won't tell you. They'll just quietly lose trust in you. Let's start with the one almost everyone gets wrong. 1. Staring into your dog's eyes when they're stressed. Have you ever looked straight into your dog's eyes and wondered why they suddenly looked away or started licking their lips? You probably thought nothing of it. Maybe they got distracted. But here's what was actually happening. In dog language, prolonged eye contact during moments of stress is not love. It's pressure. When you lock eyes with your dog and hold that stare, especially when they're already anxious or unsure, your dog reads it as a challenge or threat. It's hardwired into their instincts. In the wild, a prolonged stare between two dogs is what happens right before a conflict. So, every time you gaze into those beautiful eyes thinking you're sharing a moment of connection, your dog might actually be feeling cornered. A study published in the journal Applied Animal Behavior Science found that dogs actively avoid eye contact with people who stare at them directly during stressful situations, but move closer to people who use soft eyes and look away. That's not a coincidence. That's your dog telling you the rules. The right move is simple. When your dog is stressed or unsure, don't force eye contact. Use soft eyes, look slightly away, and give them space to approach you. That's the real way to say, "I understand you," in their world. And if you've been staring without knowing this, don't worry. But pay close attention to the last section of this video, because where your dog sleeps at night actually reveals whether they've forgiven you for breaking rules like this one. The answer might surprise you. 2. Petting your dog for too long or in the wrong places. Why does your dog go from happily accepting pets to suddenly walking away, shaking off, or even growling? You didn't do anything wrong. At least that's what it felt like. But here's the truth. You did do something wrong. You just didn't know when to stop or where to touch. Dogs have a neurological threshold for physical touch. Once you cross it, what started as pleasure turns into overstimulation. And when that switch flips, your dog isn't being mean. They're telling you that you broke the rule. Researchers call it petting-induced stress. It happens because repeated stimulation on sensitive areas starts to irritate their nerve receptors. Think of it like someone rubbing the same spot on your arm over and over. At first, it feels nice. Then, it gets uncomfortable. Then, it's unbearable. The signs are always there before they walk away. Their body stiffens. Their tail stops wagging and goes still. They turn their head away. They lick their lips. Most owners miss every single one of those signals because they're too focused on how cute the moment is. The rule is simple. Pet in short sessions. Focus on the chest, shoulders, and base of the neck, areas most dogs actually enjoy. When you see any of those stress signals, stop immediately. Let your dog decide when they want more. That's not rejection. That's your dog teaching you how they want to be loved. And hey, before we move on, if this is already changing the way you see your dog, hit like and subscribe so we can reach more owners who want to learn the rules their dog will never bark about. 3. Moving their favorite bed or sleeping spot. You know that one spot your dog always sleeps in? What happens when you move their bed, rearrange the furniture, or throw out that old blanket they loved. Most owners don't think twice about it. You're just cleaning up. But to your dog, you just destroyed something that belonged to them. Dogs don't see your home the way you do. They map their entire world through scent and territory. Every spot they claim gets marked with the pheromones from their face and paws. That's their way of saying, "This is mine. This is safe. I belong here." So when you move their favorite bed to a different room or rearrange the furniture, your dog doesn't just feel annoyed. They feel displaced. That sense of security they built around that spot is suddenly gone, and they have no idea why. A study from the Journal of Veterinary Behavior found that environmental disruption is one of the top triggers of stress and anxiety in dogs. Something as small as moving their bed to the other side of the room can cause pacing, loss of appetite, and even destructive behavior. The rule here is respect what they've claimed. If your dog has chosen a spot that's not random, that's a decision. And if you absolutely need to move something, do it gradually. Shift it a little at a time so your dog can adjust without feeling like their safe space just vanished overnight. 4. Taking their food or disturbing them while they eat. Do you ever take your dog's bowl away while they're eating? Or stand over them, talk to them, or try to pet them mid-meal? It feels harmless, right? Maybe you're just checking if they like the food. But your dog doesn't see it that way. Not even close. In the wild, mealtime is one of the most vulnerable moments for any dog. Their head is down, their senses are focused on the food, and their guard is lower than at any other point in the day. That instinct doesn't disappear just because they live indoors. So when you hover over their bowl, reach down to take it, or disturb them while they're eating, your dog's survival brain kicks in. They can't fully relax into eating because part of their mind is now tracking you. Even if they don't growl, the stress is happening internally. What you can see is the aftermath. Dogs who feel pressured during meals start eating too fast, which leads to vomiting, food guarding, or even resource guarding against other pets. And in multi-dog households, the same thing can happen even without you standing there. When food bowls are placed too close together, the presence of another dog creates that exact same pressure. The rule is simple. When your dog is eating, give them space. No taking the bowl mid-meal, no standing over them, no talking or touching. And if you have more than one dog, give each one their own spot to eat, preferably in separate areas. Those few minutes at the bowl belong to them and only them. 5. Ignoring them when you walk in. When you come home after a long day, what's the first thing you do? Toss your keys, check your phone, kick off your shoes. But have you ever noticed your dog was right there waiting for you, tail wagging, body wiggling with pure joy? Most owners walk right past them without a second thought. And to you, it's nothing. You're tired, you're distracted, you'll pet them later. But to your dog, that moment meant everything. Dogs don't greet casually. When your dog shows up at the door, does their full body wiggle, or watches you walk in from across the room, that's a deliberate choice. They're acknowledging you, and they expect you to acknowledge them back. This isn't neediness. It's a social ritual that dogs take extremely seriously. Researchers who study canine behavior have found that dogs form greeting patterns with their owners just like they do with other dogs they trust. A tail wag, a play bow, maybe a soft whine or bark. That's their version of saying, "I noticed you and I'm so glad you're here." When you ignore that moment, Your dog doesn't throw a fit. They just quietly file it away. And over time, those missed greetings add up. Your dog starts meeting you at the door less. They stop getting excited when you walk in. Not because they stopped caring, because they learned that you don't follow that rule. The fix takes 5 seconds. When you walk in, get down to their level if you can. Say something soft and happy. Give them a quick pet, or just let them sniff your hand. That's all they ever wanted from you. 6. Where your dog sleeps at night. Have you ever wondered why your dog chooses to sleep where they do? Maybe it's on your bed, at the foot of the bed, in their own bed, on the floor, or in a completely different room. You probably never thought much of it, but that choice is the most honest thing your dog will ever tell you. Remember earlier when we talked about staring into your dog's eyes when they're stressed and how they read that as pressure? This is where it all comes together, because where your dog sleeps is the final verdict on how safe they truly feel around you. A dog who sleeps on your bed or curled up right next to you is telling you something powerful. They're placing themselves at their most vulnerable, in their deepest state of unconsciousness, right next to the person they trust more than anyone. That's not just comfort. That's complete surrender. Follow the rules your dog has been quietly waiting for you to understand. And now you know what they are.